Okay, welcome back to another episode of Putting the World to Fights. No Kansas side this week, but we do have a banger for you. Lots gone on, lots to talk about. And
we've got Hidden Gem in another video.
Yeah, you can't wait till you see what's coming next.
Fucking definitely.
Let's get into it. Okay.
So.
Where would you like to start? I think
bit of a crazy week, wasn't it? Crazy week.
Why don't you give us the lowdown on the BKFC this week?
Yeah, mate. BKFC was awesome. As it normally is, because it was in Newcastle, so it meant it wasn't at stupid o'clock in the morning.
Lots of Geordies.
So, oh Christ!
Mate? Why
Jesus, there are a lot of Geordies.
I can't do it. Kawasaki.
I can't.
Kawasaki.
I'm not even going to attempt it.
Kawasaki on the tune.
So it's safe to say I didn't hear no accents like that.
There probably wasn't.
No, it was pretty awesome, mate. It was pretty awesome. There's some good absolute slugfest. Of course. And there's a couple of familiar faces as well.
Yes.
Which was certainly interesting. They had like the first husband and wife duo.
Okay.
They had the Wilsons.
The Wilsons.
English Wilf from K.O.T.S.
Yes.
Yeah, him and his missus was on there.
Very nice.
Which was actually, do you know what, I felt really sorry for her, for his missus, because she had such a good scrap, and the commentators were saying all the way through it that their fight is going to kind of predetermine of what the judges are going to be looking for.
Yeah.
Funny enough, as what Jim was saying about the ISK being sanctioned and whatnot.
Yeah.
Kind of bound to their judges, because you had Wilson being a very defensive fighter.
Yes, yeah.
Picking his shots lovely, and doing a shit ton of damage. I mean a shit ton of damage. But then you had the forward pressure.
Yes.
She was really pushing forward, trying to hit Wilson, and was hitting, not doing a lot of damage. It is kind of more like pushing with the fists, if that makes sense, as opposed to punching, at least in like the first couple of rounds. And Wilson just, walking backwards beautifully, counter him, fucked her face up,
lovely,
like, annihilated her face,
as you'd expect.
Yeah, but she lost on a unanimous decision. It was obvious. I mean, you could tell she was so pissed off, and quite understandably as well. I'd be pretty pissed off and all. Because it was just obvious that the refs were, the judges were looking for at the forward pressure.
Yeah.
And he was setting the pace. Which I get.
I still think damage outweighs forward pressure, but I mean everyone weighs it differently, don't they?
They do.
And there's a few fights that over this weekend that have had that sort of thing. I think.
Yeah.
So
there we are. It's a shame. It was a shame because I knew who I was kind of watching.
Yeah.
And you appreciate it as well, because you're the same as me, a counter fighter.
Yeah.
I love fighting off with the back foot. I love using head movement, getting out of the way, make them fucking pay.
Pull towards me, you're in trouble.
Yeah,
exactly.
I love it. I don't mind taking a couple hits in the face. No. As long as you're doing damage on the exit.
I don't mind running in circles in the ring backwards.
Exactly.
If it means I'm landing lots of significant shots.
Exactly.
And not taking many.
That's what it's about, isn't it? But annoyingly, that's not how the judges saw it. So I was gutted for it. But yeah, that's such is life. If you don't want to leave it to the judges, you knock them the fuck out.
But it says it above the UFC coach training room doors. Never leave it in the hands of the judge.
Yeah.
And this is why.
It is indeed. But hopefully, she did an absolutely cracking performance. So I'm definitely looking forward to watching the next scrap. I don't think she'll do fight like that again. I think she'll be a lot more forward.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see what happens. But it wasn't the main event, but I think it was by far my favourite fight of the night, and it was Nathan Owens.
Okay.
It was his debut fight against David Ram, and it was just awesome, because the pair of them were just chatting shit to each other the whole fight,
all the way through.
But it was quite funny, because we're used to seeing in like boxing and the UFC, It's shit talking.
Yeah.
Like actually shit talking. You know.
Just abuse.
Abuse. But you could see it was almost like these two
were
mates. Like they were just having a bit of banter whilst they were whacking fuck at each
Brilliant.
other. And yeah, they were just having like a good old laugh. I mean, they were around. He's a bit of a geezer, and you can see when he was when he was being hit, he was just smiling. He was like, yeah, fuck it. Fair play. That was a good one. And they just kept on. They just kept on going back to it.
It was they enjoyed the fight then.
Yeah, they both loved being there. You know, they really did love being there, and they both loved every second of it. They both took a fair whack. Yeah, they both took a fair whack of damage, but it wasn't kind of anything too serious. I mean, there were some serious, ugly injuries.
Yeah.
Later on, especially in the heavyweights, but you know, there's certainly a couple of knockdowns through the fight. I think Owens got dropped in the second. I think it was got ruled a slip.
Yeah.
There was an uppercut in the mix somewhere, so you could kind of like argue 2 or 4. Was it the uppercut that made him go down, or it was the uppercut and then he slipped? But it wouldn't have made a blind bit of difference because Owens won anyway, and
yes.
it was quite evident that he won. But it was certainly my favourite fight of the night because it was just it was entertaining. You don't always see two people scrapping it, having a laugh, enjoying every single second of being there, and no animosity. So yeah, it was a good display of skill as well.
Brilliant.
It was wicked. My throat is fucked, so I apologise. It's going to be a lot.
I keep
lot
yawning,
so
I apologise for the energy. It's been a long day, long week, and we've got a longer week coming.
Oh shit, haven't we?
So, but yes, okay. Moving on, Brown Hawthorne.
Yeah, Brown and Hawthorne. That was an interesting way. I think Brown was like 6 foot. I want to say 6'3", so like that, and Hawthorne like 5 foot fuck all.
Yeah.
So there's like massive height difference. Billy was the favourite.
Yeah.
13 wins, 3 losses. So he was definitely going in as the favourite. But he got dropped.
He got dropped.
Pretty.
Was he the taller of the two fighters?
No.
No.
So
Brown was the taller.
Yeah, Brown was like the 6 footer, and he just got dropped with a solid right hand. I then got back up a few seconds later, dropped again with another big right hand. He just couldn't really seem to work out how he could close that distance on him.
No.
Each taller fighter is slightly different than the last.
Of course.
What worked on one tall fighter ain't gonna work on the next.
No.
And he seemed to really struggle to find a technique that was going to get him in, which was a shame because you could see why he had 13 wins.
Yeah.
Because he was he was game, like real game chavvy. But he decided what his game plan would be was just pure forward pressure,
and he stuck to it.
Charge in. And that's what he tried, and he went in charging in. His head was down, and he got clacked again. And he was kind of like third time. It was like all in round one. Like he got dropped like 3 times. But there wasn't really a great deal he could do. Brown was just there, just tagging him with that right hand, just time and time again. And then it went into the second round, and he was dropped a 4th time again. Quite early on, but after the 5th knockdown in the second round, the ref was like, no. Enough's enough. Like he could see where he was going. Didn't want to be there. Couldn't hack it. And yeah, which was a shame because it had the making.
Yeah.
For an absolutely awesome fight. And I think if Hawthorne had somebody more his own height, even being a shorter fighter,
Yeah.
I think it would have been a completely different story. But Brown just knew how to use his height advantage,
Of course.
to an absolute T. He had a game plan. He knew what he wanted to do, stuck to it, and
Brilliant.
he just did it. He did his thing, which was what we kind of expect to see. It was his debut fight.
Of course.
And he won. So
he did the job. He did the business.
After that, there wasn't. There was a couple of really, really good fights.
But nothing really stood out.
No.
Nothing jumping out.
That first fight was certainly my favourite. Tom Scott and John Ferguson started off like a really, really good fight. I was actually pegging Scott to win that. Because his head movement
Always bet on a Scott.
Always bet on a Scott. Because his head movement was just fucking insane. Like, really, really
phenomenal.
Insane. Yeah. He was just kind of like, real elusive, real slick. His combinations were fluid. They were just there. He was tagging Ferguson in the head and then going straight to the body. Landing impeccably. But then kind of like after the second, going into the third, it all went to shit. Ferguson,
I just want to leave it open. Dude.
I might as well, man. My throat is absolutely fucked. But yeah, it all went to shit. Ferguson, he's I don't know if you've ever seen any of his other fights.
No.
But he's so unorthodox. And he
comes in from lots of different angles.
Fuck me, mate.
Bit like Artem Lobov then.
Yeah.
Lots of different angles.
And it's almost like you're used to getting jabbed but from over here.
Yeah.
And you're kind of then working that game plan, and then you get them straight down the pipe. It really fucks with your head.
Yeah.
Really, really fucks with your head. And that's just what happened, basically. Scott just slowed down. Head movement wasn't quite there. Stopped throwing the combinations. And just like single punches. And that's about it, really.
Yeah.
It was a shame because again it was looking like a really, really good fight, a really, really good matchup. But you could see he was getting a bit pissed off. Not pissed off as in wound up, but you could see it was kind of like annoying of how elusive Ferguson was being. But that's how it is. It is a unanimous decision. Fucking hell.
Breathe.
Unanimous decision for John Ferguson, or as he was known as Johnny Pickering. Which fucking made me laugh.
Well, other than the BKFC, it's been a wild week. Internet sensations. Some backstreet fighing. King of the Streets. Did you see the bite?
Ugh, disgusting.
Ear bite straight off. Do you know what? The bit that impressed me about this, the speed he removed the ear.
If you blink, you miss it.
I thought he spat. I thought he was just spitting.
Yeah.
Next thing I see, there's an ear. No. For those of you who didn't see, or you are squeamish,
just look away.
Look away, or skip maybe 30 seconds, because it won't even take that long, honestly. This is it.
Here it is. Disgusting.
Okay, fucking ears. Okay, fucking ears. Nice.
Other than that,
how the fuck did he come back and win?
Fuck knows.
Oh shit! You've had like half your ear bitten off, and it's almost like he threw him down to deck and was like, "Fuck you! You're having this now."
Exactly. Lost his shit and went for it. Fucking hell.
It was epic.
It was
fucking epic. That's what we love. That's why we love King of Streets.
I was just say, if you want sensationalism, that's where you go. That is the number one place for it, really. Other than that, online's been quite busy. A certain Irishman has been throwing his words about.
Hasn't he just?
He took offence to, well, obviously it was announced that he is entering the USDA.
Yeah. You sat there,
Yeah, you know what I meant.
Anti-doping agency.
Yeah, USDDA or whatever. Double Dick Association. Testing pool again. And he will do 2 tests in February, which means
he's got a 6-month run up, hasn't he?
He's got to have 6 months within the pool after a positive test.
Yeah.
He's using a clause that was used previously for people with injuries that can only be treated with steroids. Now, Michael Bisping and others
Anthony Smith, wasn't it?
Taken a dig at him for doing this. That being said, they have had similar injuries.
Yeah.
And they've done the same thing. So Conor has kind of come back and said, how hypocritical are you? You know, in his own Irish way.
Yeah, because he was saying there's only like 3 people that have had that sort of a break.
That serious a break.
Yeah. And how fucked they still are.
Yeah, exactly.
But so he admitted taking steroids without admitting taking steroids.
Yeah, effectively. On top of that, you've got a few other bits online. Did you go see the Paddy the Baddie?
Which
Walking
bit?
his dog.
Well, I was going to say his dog having his sloppy shit.
Yeah. For those of you that don't know, the nice guy that is Paddy the Baddie has shown his true colours and how nice he is, really. I mean, it just goes... He is a absolute legend. He came up to it starts off a bit weird. He's just stood there in someone's driveway.
Because it's all in black and white, so it's on the Ring doorbell.
And then he comes through the Ring doorbell, and somebody says, "You alright?" And he's like, "Yeah, I was just wondering if you got some water or something, because my dog's taking a shit that I can't pick up with a dog bag. It's too sloppy. I just want to wash it away because I didn't want to leave it." So, absolute gentleman, absolute gem. The lady's like, "Look, I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Is that
Paddy the Baddie?" It was just so wholesome, to be honest.
He's a man of his word. He says he can't stand people that don't pick up their dog shit. And how infuriating it is. I mean, Christ, I've got a dog, and
it is.
It's not enjoyable to have picking up your dog shit, but
it don't hurt.
You have a dog, you pick up his shit. It's that simple. I change my kid's nappies.
You want a kid, you wipe its ass. You want a dog, you know.
Pick up its shit.
Exactly.
Don't be a lazy cunt.
That's just part of it. But do you know what? It showed he was a true gem, and do you know what? It just shows, you know, he has pride in his country and his city. So, absolute props to the guy on that one.
Fucking legend.
Big thing. Let's go to PFL. The Pro Fight League.
There was like
the big millionaires.
There was the 2. Was it 2
3 millionaires? I think.
Was it 3?
I think it was 3.
I only thought it was 2.
3 millionaires on the night, I think. Obviously, everyone's quite confused about how it makes the money. They don't earn $1 million for that night.
No.
So
they have the purse.
Their purses that have led up to that night will then be topped up to $1 million for the season.
Yeah, because he said. So I was listening to an interview with Brendan. Who
Scott
won.
Brendan. Brendan. Yes, sorry, I thought you meant the owner. Scott something or other.
Oh no, Brendan Lochane.
Yes.
Even he said he didn't know how to pronounce his fucking surname.
Interesting about him though.
2019
fought on the Contender Series. Won the fight. Did not get the contract because he shot for a takedown in the last 10 seconds of the fight, and Dana White went,
"That's not what
if you're winning a fight and you're fighting in this series, you do not go for the takedown, the easy option in the last 10 seconds. It's boring. It's not what we want to see." And did not offer him a contract. He gave his opponent the contract.
Yeah, who's now on a 3-3.
Who's now on 3-3. Whereas
Brendan
is now just won his $1 million.
And he's like 8-1 in the PFL, something like that.
Could have been I don't doubt he will still go to the UFC at some point.
The UFC would be mad not to have him.
Exactly. But
it does make me laugh though. Dana's saying that's not what you do. You don't go in and you shoot. You don't. That's
but
what
then we've got lots of Dagestani champions.
That's what they fucking do. They wrestle. They sit on
All they do is roll you around.
Just double standards.
The Magic Art team, I call them, because they're just flopping
Just there.
around. Fucking Magikarp use Splash. Fucking
Is that
dickhead.
Pokemon?
Yeah. Magikarp use Splash. Fucking
Oh
dickheads.
dear, I am going to apologise again for this cough. I can assure you it is more annoying for me than what it is for you listening to it. And it's
I
probably
can
more
assure
annoying for my
you
missus as well.
It's even more fucking annoying for me. I'm joking.
Oh dear.
Cough away, my man. Okay, so there were some good fights on the card, though. Some
Yeah.
questionable decisions.
Yes.
I don't know.
And one
are we
amazing
gonna
fucking
agree
fight at the
with that?
beginning.
And one amazing fight from UK
fucking-
fighter.
Love her, mate.
She is absolutely brilliant.
You're a
Moved
fucking
up to
boss.
7-1 now. 7-0.
7-0, and
7-0.
and with however many within the first round, like fucking hell.
Absolute brilliant fighter. For those of you who don't know who we're talking about, her name is
Should Dakota.
Dakota Ditcheva.
She's
Ditcheva.
Ditcheva?
Dakota Ditcheva.
She
Absolute phenomenal fighter. If you don't know, check her out.
she's insane.
Absolutely smashes every opponent she comes up against.
Yeah.
It is an entertaining fight. She won in what, the first round?
Yeah, first round KO.
Yeah, first round KO. Brilliant
Just-
fight.
It was just absolutely insane, and I mean, I'm sure she's a Muay Thai practitioner, isn't she?
Yep.
So, leg kicks, teeps,
Yep.
fucking.
It was
lovely.
beautiful to watch, and she's such a tall opponent as well. So she uses that height, and it's phenomenal. Going up at the card a little bit, there was a few other good fights. Which fight stood out to you most,
Well, do you know what? I'm going to be completely honest here.
other than that fight?
There was only a couple that I actually really cared about.
Yeah.
Which was Dakota's fight.
Yeah.
Which I loved as short as it was, I loved every second of it. And Brendan's fight.
Yeah, and then obviously Kayla.
Yeah.
Is it Kayla? How's it said?
I mean, I
I
was watching it. And fuck me, it was making me question a lot.
Yeah.
It was making me question a lot. To the point that when the fight was done, I was still there.
Yeah, Kayla
questioning.
Harrison versus Larissa Pacheco.
Pacheco.
Now, I think she was robbed, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously two of the panel saw it as Kayla won. The judges obviously didn't see it that way because she won on she lost on.
Yeah. Was it split?
I
Or was
think
it unanimous?
I think it was split decision.
Yeah.
And I just think that it's very poor because from where we were sitting, that was a clear pressure. I think clear pressure on the first round.
Yeah.
Second round, not so much.
It went to the ground quite a bit, didn't it?
Yeah.
And,
The second round, Larissa kind of got her groove in and started defending a little bit and using the ground. Then the third round was again, Kayla had her doing her thing. Obviously, she is a solid fighter. She's got such a good record. I mean, she's always going to be a mid fighter, don't get me wrong, but she's not elite.
yeah, I know what you mean.
But she is somebody that we do not expect to lose this fight. And she didn't in my eyes.
Yeah.
But I do think she was robbed.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard. I mean, especially like
But again, you don't leave it to the judges.
no, and the worst thing is, it's like when you look at like the other organisations. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I lost that one. Come back a couple of fights in, can do it again.
Yep.
But with the PFL, it's they have.
They were fined for £1 million.
Yeah, but they have
$1 million.
something like four fights in 6 months.
Yeah.
So they're fined every few weeks. It's you for that 6 months you have zero downtime.
it's season.
No shut off.
There's a
it's
season.
just constant. So it's like, okay, yeah, I lost the PFL, I lost the da. It ain't just so simple as I'll just go out next year and do it.
Yeah, no.
Because it's like it
You're fined for
mentally.
your space. I don't think her space is in any danger.
Oh God, no, no.
And I do think she'll bounce back from it.
Oh
but
fucking hell, yeah.
I hope it just reinvigorates her rather than
Get like,
discourages
like,
her.
yeah.
Because she is a great fighter, and
Yeah. she is and she was, and
Yeah,
it's a
she
shame.
won it, I think, but that's our opinion. It's easy to say from this side of the couch.
Yeah.
What
this side of the beanbag?
Or this side of the beanbag. Yeah, no, and to be fair, I think that rounds off anything I was really thinking about talking
I mean,
about.
do you know what?
Did you have anything else you?
It goes to show, doesn't it? Because I mean,
there's Cage Warriors as well.
Was
but
just I didn't. I was so focused
I didn't get chance.
on
It was just
PFL
such a busy
and BKFC.
Yeah.
I didn't get a chance to see fuck all basically, which is a shame. Cause I enjoy Cage Warriors. But there was also we had White was boxing, Dillian White.
Yes, yeah. Dillian White. Sorry, I forgot about that.
And Dennis McCann fought and won.
Yeah.
Which was just going to happen. I mean, I assume you know who Dennis McCann is. If you don't, you seriously need to check him out. He's just an incredibly
if you're an older boxing fan, you'll know.
Yeah, but he's such an incredibly talented young lad.
If you're a newer one, then check him out. Honestly,
because young up and comer. He is going to be insanely big. Yeah. Which was probably the only good boxing match. I mean, what the fuck has happened with Matchroom Boxing and DAZN? I mean, Jesus fucking Christ.
What's going on?
Like,
matchmaking is shocking.
I used to subscribe to DAZN, right? Because for the minimal amount it was to have all the boxing matches and everything else, and some like, because you know me, I like the underdog, I like the up and comers, the ones that aren't really overly heard of, because they seem to have so much grit and determination.
And then
they
the
fucking go for it.
That Jim was talking about. They get their padded record.
Yeah, exactly. And then I think DAZN at their
price.
Their price. I was a bit like, meh. That hasn't really been fuck all for that long. Fuck that, I cancel it. And then with all this bullshit with the YouTube boxers and Eddie and all this, but I was like, do you know what? I am so fucking glad I do not waste my money on that shit.
No.
Like fucking hell. Since Matchroom wasn't on Sky and went to DAZN, flopped.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually, fucking flopped.
Upcoming fight.
Mm.
Okay, and potential matchmaking. What way do you see Tank versus Garcia?
Oh fuck! Do you know what? Because they've agreed to this, but
I know they
haven't set the date
This is
yet.
why I'm asking.
Now, it is such a hard one.
I think technical wise, Garcia is the better fighter technically.
Yeah, he's so quick.
I think
so rapid.
Pure pressure and power. Tank. But
then again, though, I mean,
Garcia's got a strong hip.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would not want to be whacked by Tank.
No.
You know, fucking definitely wouldn't get whacked by Tank. Wouldn't want to get whacked by Garcia. And I know Garcia gets so much shit online for being an Instagram boxer, but him and Tank are the only ones that are actually saying, let's give the fight that people want to actually see. None of this fucking padded bullshit.
Exactly.
There are two top fighters. Let's fucking have it. So I utmost respect for that. But we know that left hook of Garcia's is quick. It comes from fucking nowhere and it sleeps people. And I haven't quite seen that from Tank.
No.
Do you know what I mean? He's hard hitter.
If you ask me, I see it's going to be a very much either Tank lands one shot that's going to end it all.
Yeah.
Or Garcia will absolutely abuse him and take him out in the later rounds. Yeah. I think maybe 8th round, something like that.
Fucking phone gone.
8th round, he might start to wear, and Garcia just absolutely annihilate.
Because I think, was it? Because I'm sure Garcia's, it was Campbell. I'm sure Garcia's only been dropped once.
Yep.
And that was when he fought Campbell. And this is kind of back when I wasn't overly a Garcia fan. Because I'd really only seen him.
And talks too much.
And he was always on Instagram doing his speaker punching, and I never really saw the talent side, and I kind of hadn't really fought a known boxer. So when he fought Campbell, I was like, fuck yeah. Obviously, it's Campbell as well. Let's face it.
Exactly.
And he dropped him, didn't he? And I think that was the first time Garcia's ever been dropped. I could be wrong, so if I am, fact check me on that. But I think it was. But I mean, he rolled over and got back up.
Of course.
He just jumped back up and he carried on and won.
Yeah.
You know, and so that to me that kind of does show he has got a chin. He might go down, but he's got the ability to dust it off.
Exactly.
And go through. So I think if Tank Dennis forward pressure does manage to land one on Garcia, and he does get dropped, I do see him getting back up, and I do see him goading Tank back into finishing, and that left hook
coming from nowhere,
going to come up and over.
Well, you heard it here first, guys.
I reckon that's what'll happen.
The prediction is in.
You watch us be fucking wrong, but...
And obviously then there was the other most important fight we saw this week. Well, the face-off. Henry Gujo faced off against Hasbula. Took a swift elbow to the face.
Yes, he fucking did.
He went for the level change. Hasbula weren't having any of it. Bang! In he comes. Lets one go.
Oh my
terrifying.
God.
Do you know what is terrifying though? Have you seen the price of the hoodies UFC are charging for the Hasbula kit?
Oh, I don't want to know.
40 quid.
140 quid for a fucking Hasbula kit.
140 quid just for the hoodie.
Oh, you can suck my dick, mate.
$140.
Suck my dick.
Yeah.
I ain't fucking paying that
If
shit.
it was cheap, well, not cheap, but like,
if it was affordable,
if it was affordable, I'd probably have Hasbula on my back because everyone's saying he looks like a small version of me.
50, 60 quid. Nah. I kind of I'd question it, and it'd be one that I might have to not tell the missus transaction type thing.
Exactly.
But, it's doable.
Yeah.
140 quid. Go fuck yourself.
Exactly. No. But yeah, absolutely great. See him already in there getting. He's somebody that we did show the matchup against on the cards.
We did.
And the little video on this promo video.
Oh
but
God.
I think he's a marketing tool.
Oh, of course
That's all
he
he's
is.
ever going to be.
Of course he is. He's never going to have a legitimate
but
fight.
He's going to earn some money from it, so fair play to the lad.
Yeah.
But I think we round it off there, really, because the recording's getting long. It'll be a long old video, this one.
Yeah.
And
to be fair, it's because we've actually had
something to talk about.
Of scraps,
we didn't even get a chance to talk about the Cage Warriors. Let us know your favourite fights from the Cage Warriors.
Yeah, definitely.
We will catch up on it. But let us know what you think we should really catch up on.
100%. If you got some insider knowledge of some awesome scraps coming our way, tell us.
And then obviously don't forget to drop your comments, likes, subscribe.
And fucking subscribe, man.
Subscribe, man. We need those subscribers. All the interactions help. If you're watching this and you're not subscribed, all it is that little bell below. Just come on, just it don't hurt.
Because especially
the way
things are going at the minute, we've got a very, very cheeky coming for after this video. We've done an interview with somebody, and it was a very good, interesting. So you're going to want to see that, and it also sets something up for what's cracking on next weekend with some of the fighters that we've been interviewing. A certain couple of people are going to be there,
seeing them live.
So we're actually going to be there. We're going to be able to document. We'll be there. We'll be doing from the weigh-ins to the fights to the post-fights
to the interviews, man.
We will be there speaking to the fighters when they're all blooded and fucked up and emotional.
We'll get the best out of them. So
you ain't going to want to miss that. So you're going to want to.
If we need to, we will do a Joe Rogan. I will jump into the ring mid-fight and ask them their feeling. I may have to duck a few. I know you're laid down because you just got dropped.
But how do you feel?
How's your face? Yeah.
So you ain't going to want to miss that shit.
No, you're not going to want to miss it.
We're certainly going in that direction now where we're getting a lot more exposure.
Hit that bell. Give us a subscribe.
It makes sense.
I mean, if you're sat here watching this video and you've got through to this point, come on. All we need is some interaction, man. It helps us. It helps us, and it helps you.
Helps us get better content.
We get better content the more views we get. So
lets us know what you're liking, what you're not liking.
Well, hit us up on the socials as well.
Yeah. We're Instagram's taking off. Twitter's going wild.
We will be working more on TikTok. We just haven't had time to. It's hard with the full-time jobs to do kids training. I've effectively got 2 full-time jobs. But we are doing everything we can to get it done. So let us know what you want,
and we'll do it.
And we'll see you next week, fuckers.
You're gonna love it. Peace out.